the button, and it is started. We are online on YouTube. We are the San Carlos Computer Club. I'm Scott Stimson from International Computer Solutions, and we've got a small group today. Good morning. Morning, Mom. Morning, Judy.
Good morning. Hey, has Judy seen your shirt?
I don't know. I don't know if I've showed it off to the club or not. That's the way to do it right there. This is an Alaskan Museum shirt that looks like a surfer's shirt.
I still can't see you because it's like a half a picture of you.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're on a mobile device, aren't you?
No, I have the same thing, Scott.
I'm
Half
on
a
an
picture,
iPad
really?
as normal.
I can see me on your thing just
Right.
fine.
Hmm.
But I can't. There's you.
There you
need to
are.
move over more, though.
Move over more.
There
need
you
to
are.
move to your right on your computer, or to left.
No, I
That
think
all
it's
about?
right.
We
I
might
don't
not
know.
have a computer club. We might just have a technical support club here. Let me try getting into
Well,
this meeting and seeing what you
while
guys
you're
are seeing.
looking at-
That's so weird.
While you're looking at that, I have an interesting thing.
Oh, please.
My MacBook Pro from 2015 has been the charger. It's that one of those weird kind of like a T shape. It shows orange like it's charging, but when you look at it, it's fully charged. So I just ordered a new charger off of Amazon, an Apple charger actually, and we'll see if that changes for me.
This is a charger for your iPhone?
No, this is a charger for my MacBook Pro
Okay.
2015 Retina.
And that should be a 2015. So it's not a USB-C.
No, it's a T.
It's one of those magnetic connectors.
Yeah, I like a T. Yeah. And so I ordered one. They have an actual Apple on Amazon, and it's like $70, but I figure that's a whole lot cheaper than buying a new MacBook. So we'll see if it works. So you were trying to show us your t-shirt, and I still haven't seen your t-shirt. Now I see half your t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why you'd be having that experience. Everything I'm looking at looks fine.
Well, it's not.
I'm trying
just
to get into it with another device here.
It's not just me. There I see you.
There you go. Now you can show it up.
Yeah, but
wait.
Well, it's gone.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. This is not for demonstration. This is to find out what the hell's going on. What has Google done? Look at that. Yeah, it is a half.
All right.
We're seeing the top. We're seeing the top half. We're seeing the top half.
Okay. All right. Try just standing up, Scott. Stand up, because it's the bottom half. There we go. Now they can see it. All right. Now explain your shirt. It was half a face, but now it's fine. Wait for it. 2050 50 for Alaska.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Wow.
All right. I thought it was really funny. I guess it's an in-house, yeah.
It's just an Alaskan joke, I guess.
The situation is that it shows your picture square, not oblong. Or not
Yeah, I don't I don't know what's going on. I don't even know how to control it in this case because that all happens on the other end.
You can see you fine. It's just that you're square.
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to compensate for it. It's something that's, like I said, I imagine next week it will be different because every time something like this happens, it's like Google has changed things about the way Meet works.
Next week, aren't we you're going to be traveling?
I am. That's right. And so it wouldn't be next week. It'd be the week after that. Next week I will be traveling and we will not be able to have a meeting. Wonder if I just over here like that. Can you better?
Hi, honey. You're right next to me in the pictures.
Hanging out with my mom.
Yeah.
Well, as usual, I've brought a couple of topics. They're pretty light. I've been busy with other stuff, so I picked some light topics. But as usual, I'm more interested in your topics. And so if you guys have, well, Chester just raised his hand. What do you got, Chester?
Well, I have a situation with my cell phone. It's an Apple.
Okay.
And for some reason or another, it has dropped all of my contacts. They're
Oh,
all gone.
Chester, is it asking you for a password for any services?
Nope. No. My grandson, who's quite familiar with this, with these phones, is working on it for me. But in the meantime, I thought you might be interested in knowing that it's my
And
contacts
they've just
all
all disappeared all at one time.
every one of them.
So many times what people have done, and I do this myself, and I teach people to do this, is they synchronize their contacts with a service like Google or Microsoft or iCloud if you're staying vanilla Apple. And if you lose access to that service, like a password changes or you need to re-authenticate, then you lose access to that contact list. And I wonder if something like that is happening. Judy has her hand up. Do you have a comment, Judy?
I do. That happened to my brother-in-law when he did the latest update. And
so what was his resolution?
he went to the Apple store and they couldn't get it back. And then by the time he got home, they were all there.
They were all there again?
Yeah, they were all back.
Well, I mean, that's a good lesson in just waiting and restarting and seeing how it behaves.
I think I'll restart because it occurred shortly after a update.
That sounds like a good plan. I would imagine, Chester, your phone, if you are syncing with a cloud service, it's probably iCloud. And
Yeah,
so
it's iCloud.
yeah, so if there was a problem, it would be immediately flashing up to you, re-authenticate, stick your password in. And if you're not getting that, then I suspect it's like Judy's saying, that you probably...
He first went to Verizon and they couldn't help him. And I said, well, really, it's not a phone problem. It's an Apple problem. So you need to go to the Apple store. So he did. And like I said, they weren't able to fix it, but obviously whatever they did ultimately fixed it.
Yeah, I would suspect it's just time that fixed it. It's, in fact, right after an update, what happens is there's all these indexes that need to be recached in your phone. And it could very well be that because of the changeover to the new operating system, it could just take a bit for your contacts. I would restart the phone, let it sit for a while. See, I mean, if it doesn't come back immediately, let it sit for a while. I'd also verify that you're looking at a list of iCloud contacts. You might...
Sandy, that is one cute dog.
Chester, for confidence, you might have your grandson log into your iCloud account and see if your contacts are still there.
Okay, I will.
You can go to iCloud.com and you can sign in with your Apple ID, and you can get the list of you can get all kinds of services from your phone right on that webpage. iCloud.com. Chester, last week you were talking about Jan's computer and her new keyboard and mouse. Did you get that working?
Yeah, I bought a new one.
Ah, you gave up on that one.
I gave up and threw it away.
So I'm
They're
curious,
cheap
did you
enough.
do any of the tests we were talking about, like plugging it into a different computer and seeing if it had the same problem?
I did everything except plugging it into a different computer, because you could buy a new one for $15. So I just bought a new one.
All
I
right.
don't know how they can sell them as cheaply as they do.
Well, it's easy. It's making the world worse every moment. We're just, we're just taking it out of the future of our children. That's all. I'm being facetious. Anything on? Anybody? No, it doesn't seem to be possible to sell it for that cheap. And actually, it's probably related to these this trade tariff thing that I never understood until recently, about how something under $800 doesn't need to be doesn't need to be inspected. So apparently that's how we end up with a Temu or a Shein or an
Under
Alibaba.
$800, it's not taxed.
How much is it?
It's not taxed.
Yeah, what's the limit? I don't remember the limit.
I think it's 800.
800?
800.
Yeah,
But that's being changed right now, as I understand
No.
it.
which is
But
something
they're-
that I was never aware of until they're changing it.
Right.
And apparently that's caused all kinds of confusion about because they could send a package through the postal service without a problem. Now these things are going to take a lot longer to get over here because they're going to be bundling them up in shipments to be brought over in cargo containers.
But I also saw that Mexico is not forwarding mail to the US as well as other things. So
Oh, that's a new. I hadn't heard that. So
I
are you
had
saying
heard
if I
that.
sent a letter from Mexico, it wouldn't get to the United States?
well, it never did, but they're saying that it won't. Yeah.
That's interesting. Wow. Do you think that's political posturing that's going on?
Boy, I don't know. I don't talk politics on this with this group.
Smart.
That's
You did
also
allude to the
facetious.
poor postal service delivery system that the Mexico does have, though.
I did. I alluded to that.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
That's not being politically neutral.
Not too neutral. I don't use the Mexico post office, so I don't have firsthand experience.
We had some firsthand experience with the foreign exchange students that were staying with us last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just amazed that stuff would show up. Like a big box of presents came from Denmark. It had obviously gone through the ringer, but it showed
Wow.
up. It's totally showed up. And boxes from France showed up for our French foreign exchange students. We tried to send a box from the United States to France, and France wouldn't accept it. They just sent it back. It was all beat up when it showed up, but it went all the way to France and said, nope, send it back to the United States.
Wow.
But Mexico had no problem. They probably accept everything. The problem in Mexico is, will it get to its destination? Yes, Chester.
I rebooted the phone and everything came back.
Woohoo! Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Just making a note. I'm make a note about Jan's new. Bought a new one. So what else do we got going on today? In my news, I posted an article here about Signal. A while back, I had a big push towards using Signal instead of WhatsApp because it's a nonprofit that is trying to make its money by, well, right now it's all venture money, but the idea is that the app is doesn't collect information, doesn't have the ability to collect any metrics because of the way it's encrypted, because of the way it shares information with other people. It is based in some of the technology that WhatsApp is based in and has the same kind of encryption and security that WhatsApp has, but it's not owned by Meta. So when you get into the discussion of messaging, communications, and you start thinking about proprietary technologies and companies and centralization of data, it's really a sad selection of things that we have to pick from. And Signal is always held up as the most secure, the best solution by security experts. Not saying that it is a great solution, but in comparison to the other solutions, if privacy and security are your concern, then a security expert would point you towards Signal. And you may have had more Signal experience or information recently, just because it's the one that the people in the White House were using, the Department of Defense was using, those security groups that they were discussing plans in, they got leaked to the media. And I'm here to say that if you weren't aware, the leaking to the media stuff was all about poor execution, not poor security. And even the stuff that had actually gotten compromised on Pete's phone was because he was using a third-party unsanctioned app that was screen reading the Signal dialogues and making backups, and it was that was implemented insecurely. It's unfortunate because it's given Signal a bad name on the surface. Anybody that knows what's going on understands that's just not the case. This is the most secure, most private messenger that's out there. Judy, you want to make a comment? What do you got?
I do. I'm sorry to correct you, but it's no longer the Department of Defense. It's the Department of War.
Okay.
Glad you got that right.
To be fair, I think it's always been the Department of War. So this article is talking. Oh, okay. So going back into our background, so I was very interested in making a push. I made a New Year's resolution that I was going to spend time pushing Signal. I would get my family on it. I'd get the computer club on it, and we did some real Signal stuff right at the beginning of the year. But one of the first things that I discovered was there was no real way to make a backup of your conversations. And whether that matters to you or not, it matters to me quite a bit. I use WhatsApp for private, secure communications with a lot of my customers, as well as my own personal intrinsic interests. I want to be able to restore those conversations if I have lost my phone, if I change phones, if my phone ends up going in the ocean. I want to have the ability to get back to those previous conversations while still maintaining the same kind of privacy and security. Signal does not, or did not until now, have a system. And so the only, and you, let me say, you could make an argument that that's in Signal's favor. Right? Signal wants to be the most secure, most private messenger on the marketplace. And one of the ways to do that is to make it difficult for you to make backups of the information and to make the information disappear over time. And so the only backups that actually existed with your Signal account would reside in your equipment, in your hardware. And so if your hardware failed, you lost all those conversations. If you changed hardware, right, you upgraded your phone, you lost all those conversations. Not to mention the media as well that's associated with those conversations. It's all kept in a secure enclave on the phone. if somebody got your phone and they didn't have your signal authorization, they shouldn't be able to get at any of that information. It is secure. It's encrypted to the highest degree. But that doesn't help you when you're having to replace your phone and you need the information. That aspect of the messenger as a concept, to me, is so valuable to individuals. I mean, I understand there's special circumstances, such as the Department of War, such as political campaigns where you don't want information released. I mean, there are lots of different scenarios where you may be fine with information in your messenger disappearing. But in the general sense, due to you using a messenger, me using a messenger, me using it for work, I believe the convenience of being able to bring those conversations with you outweighs the need for the security of them disappearing and not being available across different hardware. So that being said, I stopped pursuing making people more aware of Signal until they came up with a better solution for backups. I feel like I should be able to move from this iPhone to the new iPhone and bring all my conversations with me. And so what Signal has launched now is a paid service for you to get your message history older than 45 days. This is $2 a month. But what's important to me is this is the feature that I felt like this messenger had to have for it to really appeal on a broad spectrum. And now they've added it. What they still haven't added is the ability for you to put this backup wherever you'd like. And to be fair, WhatsApp hasn't done that either. You have one solution for your backup in WhatsApp. It either resides on Google if it's an Android phone, or it resides in iCloud if it's an iPhone. Those are your only options. You can't put your WhatsApp backup wherever you'd like. In this case with Signal, right now you're putting your Signal backup in their servers. Along with this is your media history. This is a point that I had forgotten when I was reading this that I didn't realize. But I don't believe that they've been having the media encrypted. No, I think what it is the media just disappears after 45 days. And so if you pay $2 a month, then everything, your texts and your media, will be there for over 45 days. They've also got a free secure backups to save your media for just the last 45 days. Okay, so that's the big difference now, is that before it was all on your phone. If now they have a free backup service that is good for 45 days. That's a vast improvement. That might just be enough, given everything I was just explaining about my position. 45 days might be just enough for any individual to go, well, that's all I would really care about anyway, is the last month and a half. And so that might be enough. And then for those other folks that are like, no, like me, I want the entire history to be available at any point over 45 days. Then I might be inclined to pay $2 a month for that option. It's also saying here that on the free tier, you're limited to 100 megabytes. That's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it is reasonable if you're talking about only 45 days. So it's free. Everything that you've done in the last 45 days has been backed up, pictures, videos, whatever, as long as it doesn't exceed 100 megabytes. I believe that's doable if you're staying within 45 days. I mean, as long as you're not passing feature-length movies together. So I think this is very interesting. I think this brings Signal online for a much larger audience, realistic audience. And it's going the right direction with everything. And they basically say, yeah, we've got to be able to pay for these services because it is hosted by them. They don't have a way for you to host your backup yourself. Like right now, I can't put my Signal backup in my computer or on my OneDrive or in my iCloud or in my Google Space. I have to use Signal servers for backup there. It will be end-to-end encrypted, such as everything that's Signal. So that means that it should be secure on their end. You shouldn't have to worry about that getting compromised. But it does mean that they have to pay for that space in some way, and so they've got this charge associated. A hopeful thing in the article talks about there could be a time in the future where you'd be able to choose where you would back up, and you may not have to buy their service. But we'll see what happens. Again, this is a nonprofit. It's financed by venture capital. Very much in kind of the same way that OpenAI started out. Who knows if this is the right way to do things? Just right now, security experts will say this is the most secure messenger. And when you go, like I've mentioned many times, if you go looking at this marketplace of messaging, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's all owned by special interests, and so this is the best we can. I don't know. Does anyone out there have any opinions or thoughts on this? Is anybody using Signal at this moment? I know a number of us played with it for a while. No. And, you know, if you're in an Apple world with iDevices, their messenger offers you the same kind of encryption, security, and privacy. The only drawback is this centralization of control. It's all run by Apple, just like Google stuff is all run by Google. Microsoft stuff is all run by Microsoft. The frustration with WhatsApp being so secure and being run by Meta is that they're constantly trying to find a way to get your data, anonymized or not, so that they can use it for the advertising market. Signal's made strong commitments to not getting involved in any of that. They don't want to collect your data. They don't want to sell your data. That's not any business model that they're. But they are a controlled, nonprofit, closed development organization. That makes you wonder where that will go in the future. Okay. If nobody has any other topics, I'll just go down this list of news articles I found. I thought you guys might find it. My next one here is how passkeys work. And some of you might have already been experiencing passkeys. Seems like if you're using a password manager, and a password manager can be the iCloud keychain. It can be the Google password manager in Chrome. It can be the Microsoft Authenticator. It could be Bitwarden or LastPass, which I don't recommend anymore. But what the latest updates to this is an ability to create a hashed key in lieu of a password. So this is a Wired article explaining what passkeys are and how you can take advantage of them. And this is really the movement that we're going towards. Microsoft, Apple, Google all announced this kind of change to passwordless. The idea is that you have a device that has been vetted in some way. The phone is used often as the device, but your desktop computer can be the device, a tablet could be the device. I believe in the long run, even something like an Apple Watch could be the device, or a pair of headphones could be the device. It has to be something that it has been vetted. It's already been determined to be secure. And then you pair it with something that only you should know. And in the case of passkeys, they are keys that are related to the device. Yes, Chester. I see your hand is up, but you're
how does it get vetted? How do you get an iPhone vetted?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good question, because, and I say it like that because it's a little bit nebulous. There are a number of different ways that we are considering things getting secured. One of the ways that you've probably become really familiar with is by two-factor authentication, multi-factor authentication. And that's precisely the same kind of idea, but it's happened on a human level. An example of that would be trying to log into Amazon and having it shoot a code over to your phone. Or even more secure, having it shoot a code over to a particular phone that it knows about that has the Amazon app installed. And so that app for Amazon would have to be, you'd have to be able to sign into it on that phone that it's referenced to get that code that it's trying to send you. Follow what I mean? So the idea is, you know the password, you should have the phone that it's referring to, and you should be able to authenticate the Amazon app on that phone.
Okay, let's say it's not a phone, but I just want to use my computer.
Right.
Because I use my phone solely as a phone.
Sure. It's the same kind of deal, because it's not necessary. We keep talking about mobile devices because we keep thinking them as the keys that are in our pockets all the time. But you can use any device that's capable. Desktop computers work just as well, or tablets. And you've already experienced this a little bit, because you will sign into a service with a web browser, and it will ask for you to vet that web browser, and all the language around it will be talking about a device, but it's actually that particular web browser on that particular computer. So you'll use Chrome to sign in to Google, and it will have you go through the motions of making sure this particular device is okay for you to sign in. And if it's the very first time, then it's going to go a back and forth. Security questions, codes being shot off to email addresses or to an SMS, a text message, or however you've set it up with that service. It's going to have you jumping through these hoops, but by the time you're done, then that web browser on that particular computer can sign in without having to go through all that malarkey.
Yeah, I got it. That happens frequently.
Yeah. And what you'll find a distinction is, say you're having problems with that web browser. Say your Chrome web browser is just having problems where you're trying to sign in. Then you might be tempted to go over to Microsoft Edge and try signing in there. Well, if it's the first time, you're going to jump through all those hoops again, and it's going to refer to the device. But the device is really Microsoft Edge on that same computer, setting it up, vetting that web browser be okay for you to sign into that service.
Okay, got it.
Judy has left the building, and she's back.
That was the weirdest thing. It said I'd lost my network connection.
Uh-oh.
But I didn't. I mean, I can get on any other web page. Isn't that weird?
That is strange.
Yeah. So yeah, but I'm back.
Well, pass these pass keys, and I'm far from an expert on them. They've been growing up around me the same way they've been growing up around you. The thing that I think they've done correctly is that the password managers have intercepted the potential for making a passkey. Oh, and let me just say, the idea of the passkey is that you no longer have to remember a password. Because you're using a passkey that is associated with a device that you're using, then you have done the multi-factor authentication yourself in one stroke. Because the passkey is only going to work with that device, and you've already gotten into that device. And so you have performed the multi-factor authentication required for the security in those steps by having the passkey that will only work for that device, and you having the ability to get into that device. So much of these passkeys, what they're getting associated with is your biometric. It's not limited to biometric. Like on the desktop, it's associated with your ability to sign into your computer. So you get prompted with the Windows login and you put in your password. You have authorized that device to act in your stead. And then you have a passkey. That passkey is made up of that device's ability to access that service. You've satisfied the multi-factor authentication. And you don't have to go through the necessity of putting a password in. And that's really what passkeys are doing, is they're taking away the need to have a human typable password. If that makes sense. I recommend this article. It's a good primer. Passkeys are going to be popping up in front of you. That's one of the things that I have appreciated about this transition, is that if you use a password manager and a passkey situation is available, then it normally gets announced to you. You don't have to go looking for it. And you can choose to save a passkey right at that moment and start using it. So what would be good for you is just to know what's happening when that is happening. Otherwise, you'll find yourself just canceling it, and not getting into it. But I really do think this is the direction we're supposed to be moving with security, is these passkeys, this whole idea of multi-factor through devices that have been vetted with you. I'm sorry, Mom, did you have a question?
Well, I was just going to say, you still have to have a password with them, because my passkey on my health chart, whatever that is, if for some reason I wear glasses different or my hair's different, won't recognize me, and then I have to go to a password.
Well, yeah, I think there's probably some of that's probably going to happen. The password, though, like from a Microsoft point of view, at this point in this year, the password is completely optional. So the kind of issue that you're referring to, I don't know how Microsoft deals with that, other than that is a deal with your device. So whatever.
It makes me wait. I'm sorry. It makes me wait a day before I can use the passkey again.
So this is the service that you're using it with, I think. This is like Health Human Services.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Where I'm not sure why it would be doing your facial recognition and not relying on it on your phone. But it is their system that's doing that.
I see.
And maybe part of their system is having a backup password. But the idea of this is that your device. Oh, in fact, you're probably doing it through your laptop, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or my phone. I can do it through my phone.
So it's interesting that you would have that problem going through your phone, since your phone is completely the one that does the facial recognition stuff. Like you'd already be authorized into it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like they're doing their own thing. Chester, you have your hand up. Did you have a comment?
Yeah, isn't Amazon working that way right now?
Yeah, yeah, except for the passwordlessness. And there is this move to getting rid of passwords where we're going to have passkeys and passwords at the same time. Mostly for situations like what mom's describing. These areas that could probably be sorted out but are not comfortable. And so you will run both technologies right beside each other for, I suspect, a long time
Well,
before we're comfortable enough to just go password.
I think right now I'm not a Prime member anymore. I dropped that, but I believe I can right now go to Amazon on Google, buy something, and not have to put in my password.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's you. In fact, Amazon's a great example for stuff like this because you vet your. I mean, and this is my word. You don't actually hear that used much in, but to me, it's got to already have passed security, and Amazon has different levels at which you need to authenticate. And so you could easily be running your web browser in an authenticated manner in which you can do purchases hassle free. Nobody's asking you for a password. And as long as you're already authorized, then you could do those kinds of activities. But then you get to something like you want to change your payment method. Then you may be asked to re-authenticate. Or say
Okay.
you want to
I,
add. I'm sorry, Chester.
I see.
Yeah.
Uh, PayPal, for example, whenever I use it, I have to put in my password.
Yeah. Yeah. There are in any service, and I try to talk in generalities because it's got to. The way we speak about this stuff, it's got to cover all these different situations and all these different services. And so I don't want to focus on Amazon or Google or Apple or whatnot because the way we think about this stuff should be all encompassing. And now that I have qualified that, I forgot where I was going with that thought.
Coming back up. Are you? Come on. Come on.
Well, I think we're about over.
I think we are too, Chester. Since it's just the three of us, I don't think we need to go on to another meeting. I did bring some other topics, so if you want, we could mention that today, right now, as we've been talking, maybe this is the reason some of us aren't here. I've got it going in my living room right now. Is the Apple event announcing the iPhone 17 and the iPhone Air. And we've got a lot of rumors, but today we get to find out what they've got going on. And so you might check it out later. They are supposed to be showing off some new thin phone. That is supposed to be the thinnest phone ever that they've created. It's called the iPhone Air. They're supposed to be showing off a brand new camera setup where everything is a 48 megapixel. I don't know if you know about the last generation. It's taken Apple forever to support a large megapixel sensor, but mostly because the software wasn't there for it. And they were doing great pictures. It's one of those do you put what comes first, the cart or the horse? It's one of those where they've had better sensors, but the software didn't make sense to apply to it. And so now they've been coming up with better software, and so it really warrants having better hardware for it. And what they've done in this generation, or supposedly have done, they've put that same 48 megapixel sensor on the front and back cameras, and they have an optical telephoto lens, which is the first time in a long time. They've been using digital. And let me say again, I don't know if this is true. This is what's been speculated from the rumor mill. This is what we're expecting. And so that's going on right now. And the last thing I've got on this list is about Plex. And I don't know if you're a Plex user, Chester, but if you are, you should change your password. They just got compromised. That's all I got to say
What is
about that.
Plex? I don't know what that is.
Ah, okay. Well, it's just another service for watching movies and TV out
Oh,
there on
okay.
the internet. It got popular with people like myself about 15, 20 years ago because we would use it to serve our own copies of movies and TVs and music and pictures, videos and pictures and whatnot from a server that we would host in the house. But what it's turned into over the last 15 years is another streaming service out there available to people to use for free that's ad supported. And that brings us to the end of the topics that I brought for us today. With I think 6 minutes to go before this call ends.
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, Chester, we'll plan on that. And Mom, I will probably see you sometime today.
Yeah, well, you're seeing me now, sort of.
Did you
Thanks.
want to add something before this meeting shuts off?
My problem is memory. We watched a couple of good movies this last week, and I didn't write them down, and now I can't think of them.
We'll save them
Looks like
for
we've
2
lost
weeks.
everyone.
What's that?
Looks like everyone's left.
Yep, it's just you and me now. And we've only got a few minutes left before it shuts down.
Okay. Well, let's see. I think I have one appointment today. Tomorrow I have a couple.
Are you on your laptop?
Yep.
So you look washed out. I wonder if there's
It's because of where I'm sitting.
Okay. You don't think yeah, you feel it feels like you've got like really high contrast and brightness turned on. I'm just curious if on the lip of your laptop if there's like a smear or something above where the camera is. Like a fingerprint or something.
I don't know. I could wipe at it. I don't have anything decent to wipe it with right at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that sensor is giving so much extra light.
Well, I do think it's where I sit. I don't mind being a little washed out because if you saw too much detail.
Well, Mom, I'm going to shut down this meeting. We're still online, but we will talk again in 2 weeks. Actually, you and I will talk again.
Today, yeah. All right, honey.
All right.
Bye.
Heck on. Bye-bye.
Heck on.
All right, guys, we did it again. It was a small group. I'm immediately moving from this over to the Apple event, so we'll talk in 2 weeks about what was until then, everyone.